And then I think that there's like people on another level up, we were saying earlier, that are like seeing these like people talk shit about it, and they're getting concerned that it could like negatively impact them in a way. So they're doing this like, it's the most shit. They're like trying to create a little distance, not too much where they can't call you and say, "Hey, I got a pod, I got a,
Oh, you mean
I
Andrew
got a
Santino?
special." Yeah, like not too much where it's like, "Oh, I'd like to come on your pod, but I'll have a guy who's gonna shit on you for the whole fucking episode and not give you pushback." It's like, and it's not just him. Like I've seen other people do it, and it's just like, dude, you're gonna go through some cancel shit later. All these guys, they're gonna go through something later, and they had a guy that they could call that would bring them on the biggest platform in the world and let them explain themselves, have their back. Like, you will do it.
All right, so Andrew Schulz has really been going at Andrew Santino recently. Like last Flagrant episode, Schulz was taking some shots at him and Bobby Lee. Then he went on Rogan's podcast after, and he had even more to say about it. Like, you could tell he really wants Rogan to cut off Santino because Schulz thinks he betrayed Rogan by making fun of him and having on Marc Maron and letting him trash Joe without saying anything. Also, out of all the comedians that have done Joe's podcast and make jokes about him now, you know, the ones that Schulz thinks have backstabbed him, Santino's the one who Rogan did the most for. You know, everyone else like Anthony Jeselnik, Stavros Halkias, Marc Maron, Dan Soder, and Bobby Lee, they're not Rogansphere comedians, and they've only made 1 or 2 appearances on the podcast. I don't think they're ever very close to Rogan. But
and apparently for Andrew Schulz, that isn't allowed, guys. You can't mess with the other Rogansphere members because you're in there, bud. You know, like what's the connection? Just because he went on a couple of episodes in your podcast, it means that you're off the table to be criticized? Dumb stuff.
Santino, he's been going on his podcast since 2017 and has made 11 appearances. So Rogan's done quite a bit for his career and considers him a good friend. So out of all the comedians that goof on Joe, Santino's probably the one that Joe feels the most disrespected by. But he's trying to look at it like Santino's just busting his balls. You know, it's what comedians do.
And that could be true, right? It makes you more of a coward if you don't speak about things that are actually bad. Right? He's speaking his mind. And I think that's what Joe respects in a certain way, right?
But Schulz is trying to convince him it's more malicious. Probably because Santino's also talked shit about Schulz too. He criticized podcasters for getting political and specifically mentioned Flagrant. And then also this past year, Santino has started to goof on Rogan a little bit and had on Marc Maron and let him talk shit. So that's why people are surprised to see Santino on Rogan's podcast last month. Because Schulz is right. It seemed like Santino was trying to distance himself, but then when he had something to promote, he went on Rogan's podcast and acted like they're all good. Even though looking back on it, that podcast did seem kind of awkward, and you could tell there was some tension there. Because also Santino knew Rogan was going to get pissed about the Maron podcast. Like Maron at one...
and it's also like, it makes sense too. Like if your friend, like I have certain friends, and all of my friends, we critique each other at certain points when we do something bad, and yeah, you feel like you got scolded by your friend, and there's some awkward vibes, you know, talking back again, but eventually that goes away. But you have an understanding that this guy here, like, he's actually honest, he's being an honest person, and he's not afraid to not tell me the truth about certain things that I do wrong or they do wrong or on the certain situation, right? We all can make mistakes. And for your friend, like some of your closest friends to tell you straight up that, hey, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that because of a certain reason, and it makes sense for you, then you'll be like, you know what, I take that in consideration.
At one point said he didn't think he was on Rogan's radar, but Santino's like, something tells me you are. And you could tell him and Bobby kind of wanted to get Maron going because you can have him on and avoid talking about Rogan. Like Dan Soder did it. He had Maron on his podcast and didn't mention Rogan once. So I think Bobby and Andrew kind of wanted to hear Maron go off because it seems like they don't really like the whole comedy podcast scene.
Or it could be clip farming. That's something they all, like a lot of people do now. It's just like, it's a good clip, it's more views, right? It also could be seen as that. Like that's now a thing in our world or online, is that you try to get somebody going or crash out, and that will get you some views.
Because it seems like they don't really like the whole comedy podcast scene either, and they like to make fun of it. Like Santino even goofs on Theo Vaughn, who according to Rogan is like off limits to make fun of. So he's walking a fine line here.
By the way, Theo of all people could get Kim Jong-un. He like
Absolutely.
could and
Every
get
time
like a
he
legit
drops
interview.
like his new episode, I'm like, who is it today?
Yeah.
It's either Garbage Man or it's Kim Jong Un.
But that's the joke of Theo Von, right? Like there was a time, and it's still an ongoing thing that out of nowhere, Theo Von brings somebody that's like you wouldn't think that he would talk to. That's the joke or a meme of it, right? And then like for these comedians, right, to be like saying that Theo's off limits. What? Weak sauce.
Kim Jong-un is like, my son really like you, Theo. So
Yeah,
that's
huge
why I'm here.
fan.
Yeah, his son is a massive Theo fan. That's how you hear all these things. Like fucking Trump is like,
Oh, yeah.
my son loves Theo.
Yeah, that Twitter was like, give it up for Barron, the unsung hero, getting his dad booked on Trump and Rogan.
We are living in the most dystopian version of comedy internet.
It's
the fucking weirdest
bizarre.
thing in the world.
It's bizarre.
That's so strange. It makes me happy to know that this show is still as stupid as it's always been from the beginning, because I see a lot of our podcast pals or people in our sphere that are taking these shows to a level that we don't go to.
Which is what?
Well, they're all having like politicians on.
journalists.
Tim got fucking interviewed by like CNN.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the fuck is going on?
Yeah, we stay here.
Same with hyenas.
We stay right
Right here. Yeah.
And I saw that they had Bernie on Schulz's show.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? I just think comedy podcasting is entering this world of like news or something.
Yeah.
And people are taking it serious. And it's not.
It's so good to have doctors in the house.
Yeah. Like we're on Rogan's show. Just giving out medical advice. Two fucking idiots giving out medical advice.
Does your mother have titty milk still in her breast?
You said it's not correct.
One guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogan talks about it, and he's usually right.
Is he? And there's one guy going,
Yeah. The Rogan.
killer.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overcompensating, right?
jacked up on alpha.
Right. So then
But yeah, me and who else?
Rogan.
Okay.
Who's that?
Joe Rogan.
Joe, he's,
Joseph Rogan?
yeah, he's out of Texas.
Oh, he texted us. Got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Got it.
Yeah. You love Austin, don't you?
He's running half the planet out of Texas.
Yeah.
He's got
Like the way that they speak about these things is because it's just like a funny way to just like make sense of things in a funny way of how Rogan talks about things and talks with certain people, and he thinks that he can like dish out medical advice. And there's that funny clip where he's like, "Hey, I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm a moron, right?
I'm not a doctor.
But then he goes out and starts ranting about certain things that he's not qualified for. And you have to take in consideration that at the end of the day, his profession is being a comedian and also commentating for the UFC.
Any medication, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a fucking moron. And I'm a cage fighting commentator who's a dirty stand-up comedian who just told you I'm drunk most of the time. And I do testosterone and I smoke a lot of weed.
Which is like, don't take him too seriously. He shouldn't be trying to full on defend him about everything and everything he says, because not everything's going to be accurate.
I'm not a respected source of information, even for me. If I say things, I'm always going, check on that, Jamie. I don't know if that's true.
Right.
I do that all the time.
Right.
But I at least try to be honest about what I'm saying.
Or what you feel.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right? He's a goofball. All these guys are goofballs. And they're also showing that other comedians shouldn't be off limits to talk about and make fun of. Or certain comedians, they talk about anything and everything in their specials or in their set. And all of a sudden now talking about your fellow comedians is off limits when you are able to talk about certain subjects in life and certain things in life. But all of a sudden now we can't talk about your peers or your coworkers or whatever they might be.
got a tight hold on the enlightened meathead.
Dude, Maron's disdain.
It's not disdain. It's reasonable criticism.
Reasonable criticism.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's criticism. It's reasonable. And when they try, or they don't even actually try at all to try to maybe respond to the criticism, they just don't do it. They just come out and say like, that's fucking fucked up, or he shouldn't be doing that, or he's a hater. And they brought on all these other things, but they can never try to talk about the certain subject that they were being criticized about.
When was the last time you spoke with him?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess it would have been at the store. I never talked to him in Austin. I don't go into the club. I don't really think I'm on his radar. So
Something tells me you are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Something
tells me you are.
Also, soon after they published that Marc Maron podcast, they changed the thumbnail and removed him from it. So they must have heard either Joe was upset about it or they were worried Joe would see it and get upset about it. I don't know, but I think Schulz is now trying to get Rogan riled up because he thinks Santino's a snake and he should cut him off. Like, he keeps referencing Santino getting canceled at some point, saying Rogan would have been the guy to have his back. But Rogan's like, I'd still have his back. Santino's my boy. So it seems like Schulz wants Rogan to be done with him, but Rogan just likes him way too much. And it seems like he just wants things to be good between him and Santino. But it's
Joe and Andrew are the two guys, and also Theo. They're the guys that endorse Trump, and then they got a lot of shit for it. And I think he feels like Andrew Schulz feels like they're in the trenches together at this point. I don't know. It's just like, it's a weird thing, and it doesn't make sense why Andrew Schulz is campaigning for this.